Vinicius Jr. is definitely the best winger in the world right now, and his journey from humble beginnings in Brazil to signing for Real Madrid has been inspiring too. However, even though he's killing it right now, there are some things Vinicius needs to work on if he wants to take that next step as a player. When Vinicius first arrived at Real Madrid, he didn't have it easy. He missed a lot of easy chances, and had the legendary Karim Benzema telling his teammates not pass him the ball, because they weren't sure if Vinicius could handle playing against USA during that game. How did this Brazilian end up being an exciting player for Los Blancos? The story of Vinicius Jr.'s rise, fall, and second coming is a tale that spans the entire globe as one Brazilian boy went from living in poverty to becoming one of soccer's most exciting young stars. Vinicius and his family led a very difficult life in the Brazilian city of de Janeiro. At age 10, however, he joined one of Brazil's biggest soccer clubs, Flamengo FC, and became an outstanding player. He stood out as a child for his joyful playing style and was quickly noticed by scouts from the Vinicius Jr.'s talent program. He then ascended rapidly through their academy system until he made it to Brazil's renowned Copa São Paulo tournament as part of their youth squad in 2017. Vinicius played at the Copa São Paulo Tour when he was just 16 years old, along with other rising stars like Casemiro, Lucas Moura, and Gabriel Jesus. Of course, Neymar Jr. also participated in this tournament before making it big. He then performed superbly in a series of tests and was consequently called up to the Brazilian national team. Vinicius's team won the South American Under-17 Football Championship, and he was named tournament top goal scorer. He was also recognized as the best player in the competition by dominating his opponents while scoring numerous goals. Bodacious success in Brazil led to a bidding war between the world's biggest soccer clubs, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. While Barcelona had previously signed Brazilian star Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid, the latter club persuaded Vinicius to join them instead, and that's when they agreed a €45 million deal with the Flamengo, before Vinicius made his professional senior debut for Brazilian club Vizina Football in the Under-18 League and the UEFA Youth League. He also made his professional debut for Flamengo on August 12, 2018, coming off the bench in a 0-0 draw against Palmeiras. He was substituted out of this game after just 3 minutes. However, when he injured himself while attempting to tackle an opponent, in his first senior season with Real Madrid, Vinicius only managed 4 goals and 1 assist, a disappointing tally that was overshadowed by the signing of another Brazilian star, Vinicius. In the 2017-18 town season, Vinicius is still very young and arguably playing for Brazil's best club, so he won't be expected to immediately contribute on a regular basis. However, in 17 games last year with Flamengo, the 6 goals and 3 assists were career highs. It was possible to see that his statistics would improve. At just 18 years old, he was the youngest player among Real's first-team squad at their 2018 preseason camp in Evian. However, without any playing time for his new club and a loan move nowhere on the horizon, he seemed destined to spend another season out of action. Because Real Madrid's left winger was not very productive, Vinicius Jr. was suddenly thrust into the spotlight and given a lot more playing time than initially expected. As his first season in European League play unfolded during this particularly terrible one for Real Madrid, he stood out as a bright spark. Even though Vinicius Jr. had Neymar-like talent, if he never improved on finishing, he would never become a top player for the club. Over the course of 2 seasons with Zinedine Zidane as manager, he never really improved his finishing. Yes, he saw a slight improvement in his stats, 5 goals on 4 assists, as opposed to 3 goals and 2 assists combined over those same seasons. Vinicius Jr. scored just 1 goal prior to this season, and it was not during Zidane's last year in charge, 2021. But then, Vasco da Gama hired him for their 2021 campaign. The Brazilian scored 7 times as a starter that season. Vinicius' fortunes plummeted during the season as they were relegated from Serie A. In 49 games this season, Daniele Longo only managed to score 6 times and set up 7 goals, which is by far the lowest and most embarrassing point in Vinicius' history. Real Madrid fell behind 0-2 against Bundesliga leader Borussia Mönch in the Champions League when they returned to the locker room at halftime. Karim Benzema was seen speaking to teammate Vinicius Jr. and said, "If you pass that ball forward again, I swear on my mother's life it will be thrown out of play." In the 21-22 campaign, everything changed for Vinicius Jr. team. Although Venice still had a pretty stinky season in the previous year. That's great and I appreciate it, but let's get back to the topic of whether or not sending these adult was no longer going to be the coach of Real Madrid instead. It was Carlo Ancelotti who had already won it all with the club in his first season as head coach 2016-17 that decided to rest some players and start others whom he knew would give him a winning game against Alaves, like Modric and Casemiro. Gareth Bale and Hazard Etchevernacius was sadly stuck to the bench, but when he came into the game, he scored a calm and composed finish against Syria's goalkeeper. This result made it 4-1 for Wales over Syria in their 2018 World Cup qualifier. However, maybe this was a once-in-a-blue-moon thing for the young Vinicius fellow. He couldn't repeat it twice. He played poorly against Levante and did not score. Came off the bench to score in both halves of a 2-0 win, with some incredible finishes from close range that helped his team overturn an early deficit and eventually secure 3 points. Vinny has not looked back since it was clear that Vanitas was putting in the work during preseason and summer break to improve his finishing, and now Vinny is reaping the benefits of all of his hard work. Buddhism also had iconic moments in this season, scoring a hat-trick against Real Madrid, which included one goal where he blasted past Karius's right side with ease before blasting home into an empty net. In Madrid's 5-1 win over Levante and the club's subsequent La Liga championship, he played an integral part. In the season in which he was expected to score 17 goals, Issa Lindell scored 22 of them in just 52 games. Of those 22 tallies, 10 were assisted. This means that half of his goals came from passes, an improvement over previous seasons. Vinicius Jr. scored 21 goals for Real Madrid during the 2010-11 season, but then he added only 19 more in his next 4 seasons with Los Blancos. However, his strike against Bayer Leverkusen in the 2011-12 UEFA Champions League quarterfinals was one of the most important in Real Madrid's history. The game was tied 1-1 on aggregate after the first leg, and Real Madrid needed a win to progress to the semi-finals. Vinicius Jr. came up with the goods in the 89th minute, scoring a brilliant goal to give Real Madrid a 2-1 victory and send them through to the next round. The goal was a watershed moment for Vinicius Jr., who had been struggling for form at the time. It showed that he was still capable of producing world-class moments, and it helped to revive his career at Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. went on to win 2 more Champions League titles with Real Madrid, and he is now considered one of the club's greatest strikers of all time. His goal against Bayer Leverkusen will be remembered for many years to come as one of the most important in Real Madrid's history. The goal came in the second leg of the quarterfinals. At the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, Vinicius Jr. scored the goal with a powerful left-footed shot from outside the box. The goal sent Real Madrid through to the semi-finals, where they would eventually go on to win the Champions League. Vinicius Jr.'s goal was voted as the best goal of the 2011-12 Champions League season. The goal is considered one of the most important goals in Real Madrid's history, as it helped them to win their 10th Champions League title. Venezia defeated Ali 5-3 on penalties in the final, with Venezia forward Gebrag Zubir scoring a brace. The upstart has reached a level where instead of being criticized for not scoring goals, people are now criticizing him for his exuberant goal celebrations, a sure sign that he's becoming a menace on the pitch. Brittany received. If you're a fan of Winger, check out this video. You'll learn something new about another player who's killing it right now.